If your university is going on strike, watch this video and understand what the fuck is going on. If you're confused about what's going on with the universities right now, I'm going to explain why lecturers are going on strike, why the cause is trustworthy, but the results are bollocks. A brief summary of the whole situation. So, currently, 60 universities across the country are being affected by these strikes. The strikes are coming from university lecturers and other staff members that aren't happy with their pensions plan, and they're also unhappy with working and pay conditions. That might be gender pay gap, racial pay gap. One of my seminar leaders hasn't been paid since September. They're upset about pay and pension in the grand scheme of things. And 60 universities, over 1 million students are affected by this. So if you're one of the 1 million, this video is for you. If you're not one of the 1 million, welcome to the unjust world of being a student in the UK. I'm not going to say anything that is untrue, it's just going to be factual information. So I'm happy to disclose my university, City Uni London, is one of them that is striking. So this is from my point of view, my opinion, how it's affected me and how it will affect other students. Good. Financially for students, your tuition fees will be around 9,250 quid a year. By any means, if there's any international people watching from Europe, I know we have to pay for higher education. Any Americans watching, I know you got it a lot worse. I'm sorry. 9,250 quid a year for university is one, extortionate, and two, a rip-off. But it's also what we gotta go through. So I'm hoping I can hold my university accountable for when they take 2 weeks off. But that's not the case. You see, our university lecturers are striking and we will not be getting our money back. So I've done some maths for you. I've done some calculations. So I have 11 weeks, twice. 22 weeks in total, if you will. And I have reading week twice. So let's bring that right back down to 20 weeks. 20 weeks of 8 hours a week of contact hours. I have 8 hours a week of me going in and being taught something. 8 hours a week over 20 weeks is 160 hours. Now if you divide that by our tuition fees, I'm paying £57.80 for every hour I'm in university. Now one, that's a fucking joke. And two, I'm paying that when people aren't even teaching me anything, when people aren't even there. Like, no one's there. I can't, even if I wanted to go in, there'd be no one there to teach me it in these 2 weeks, and I'm not getting that back. I understand I'm also paying for other facilities, their library, the services they provide. However, that does nowhere near equate to anywhere near the region of £57 an hour of contact time. Just the fact I can email my lecturers within the allocated times, just because I can rent a book out, and just because there's lecture halls, doesn't mean I should be paying £57 an hour. Doesn't mean that. My biggest issue with the fact that I'm not being paid is because university is to benefit my future, correct? I'm getting a degree to hopefully enable me to more critically evaluate the world, to get a better job, to have a better understanding of the world that surrounds me. For 2 weeks that they're not in, I could be putting that money towards something that would better my future in those 2 weeks instead of doing nothing. For example, I could be putting my money into this thing that I do, because this is a good skill to have and I'd like to invest more into it. I'd like to invest into myself in the future with that money. Or I could do whatever I wanted with it, because it's my money. It's my money that I'm not getting back. Money aside now, because that is more than enough on money. The causes and the reasons. I would like to say I completely support the causes. I completely support the reasons for my university lecturers to be striking. It is unjust what they're going through, the gender pay gap. I haven't looked into the figures, but if women are being paid less in an equal role to a man, that's obviously unfair. Same with a race gap. Don't know anything about the pension. I don't know about these issues, but you're affected by them, therefore I support you. My ultimate issue is it feels like the only people that are being mugged off are the students. I'll give you an example from today. I went into my lecture in which, obviously I don't have my last 2 weeks, so they're having to cram those last 2 weeks into one. And they're also, in this particular module, not changing the assessment criteria, even though I'm missing 2 weeks, because they're able to get it into the lecture I had today. So that means one of two things. Either the information they're giving me can actually be crammed into 8 weeks instead of 10, what feels like just a little bit more that I'm being screwed over by the fact that I pay 9,250 quid a year for this, or they're making me do an assessment that I haven't been given the proper time to be taught actually the fundamentals of the course. It is definitely frustrating that there has been planning going into strikes by lecturers and there hasn't been thought about a contingency plan for the students. It feels the strikes have gone in and no one has sat there and thought, how is this ultimately going to affect the students, their education, the debt that they're going to be in, and their overall well-being. Not that the causes aren't very just worthy to be striking for, but from a student's perspective, it's very, very hard to support a strike that makes it feel like we're the only ones that get mugged off. What can you do as a student? So my lecturers have told me I can write to my university in support of my lecturers. My student union is holding a referendum, their first referendum in 5 years, on whether we should join in with the strikes. It's just beyond me that. I'm not writing to my university because there's no way my letter from an individual to a massive corporation is going to signify a student support and the university changing their opinion or their stance on the situation. I agree with the sentiment of it. It's a lovely idea that my one letter is going to do that. However, that's not the case. My student union having a referendum on whether we should join in feels a little lazy to me. Feels like people just don't want to do work because there's a strike on. You joining in with a strike is going to do nothing, apart from possibly hinder your education. I've been looking up, I can't even start a petition. If I wanted my money back, I can't even start a petition for Parliament to argue it, because Parliament is closed right now. Literally, there's like, I feel like they should just put a little hanging sign on Parliament's door being like, we're closed right now because of Parliament having this general election, blah de blah, whatever, all this shit that our country's in. I can't start a petition because they're not taking any, basically. It's literally like, no one home. Excuse me, nobody is home today. So I guess you could write to your uni. Get involved with your student union. Share this video about. Let people know what is going on. That's the thing. It's the awareness that is key here. People just need to be clued in. They need to understand what's actually going on, why their lecturers are going on strike, why it's affecting students the worst out of everyone in this situation, and how things need to change. That's it. That is it. If you're a university student and you're affected, join the club, mate. Welcome to the world of paying stupid tuition fees for stupid shit. Good luck with deadlines, good luck with random stuff. Better content coming that's less ranty, hopefully next week and over the Christmas period. I mean, I got 2 weeks off, so I should be doing better content, right? Right? Bye. We're being mugged over and I'm not having it. That's why I've made a video to 98 subscribers. So each and every one of them, 3 of them is me. And one of them's my mum, one of them's my dad, one of them's my girlfriend. I got about 5 other different family members in there, a couple of friends. Let's whittle that down to maybe 4 people that I actually do not know are subscribed to me. This is for those 4 people, so they can share this and know. Won't somebody please think of the children?